Welcome to the Fast Tracking the Day of God podcast. We address crucial, often missed aspects of the Christian journey, helping individuals realize that God is trustworthy and understand His incredible plan to rescue and restore humanity. By entering into this partnership with the divine, we not only become conduits of blessings, but also participate in fulfilling the final prophecy that must take place precisely before Christ's second coming, the worldwide proclamation of the eternal gospel.
To grasp the significance of heavenly citizenship, we must first look to the creation of the human race, as described in Genesis 1 and 2. There, we learn that God created humanity in His own image, establishing our original heavenly citizenship. However, Adam and Eve's yielding to the enemy's deception led to the human race's captivity to alienation from God, and consequently, death. Over the centuries, this has resulted in many either losing sight of God or embracing the devil's falsehoods. As heavenly citizens, we are called to actively represent our true homeland. This is demonstrated not only through our lives and actions, but also through our active participation in God's mission, which serves as proof of our true citizenship. The Apostle Paul urges us to fully internalize our membership in the heavenly commonwealth, thereby eliminating fear and anxiety. God's calling of Abraham served as an invitation for him to embody what it means to know the Creator of the universe. Centuries afterward, God situated Israel, His chosen people, at the hub of the major trade routes, intending for them to be a light to the nations. More than a millennium later, Jesus' arrival inaugurated His kingdom. To become a part of this kingdom, one begins as a follower of the Lord, progresses to become a trusting friend, and then absorbs the kingdom's values. Finally, the Holy Spirit inspires us to accept the call to be Christ's ambassadors to the world, showcasing His character to everyone. This mission requires us to imitate Paul, just as he imitated Christ, 1 Corinthians 11:1, Philippians 3:17. Paul and Silas were once flogged and jailed in Philippi. City officials later realized their error and ordered their release. It was at this point that Paul revealed his Roman citizenship. This revelation was significant because Philippi, as a Roman colony, enjoyed special privileges, and harming Roman citizens was a serious offense with potentially catastrophic consequences for the city. Paul's timing in revealing his citizenship parallels Christ's delayed full revelation of His divinity until the resurrection. Though the highest being in the universe, Jesus never exploited His divinity for personal advantage, serving as our ultimate example. Ultimately, our citizenship is in heaven, making God's mission our first priority. Heavenly citizenship surpasses any earthly advantage or privilege. Upon Jesus' return, we will receive an eternal, non-decaying physical body, ensuring our existence will be forever as we live with God. Death will be completely eliminated. Once I come to know God, I begin to grasp His goodness and understand His desire to rescue me from the complexities of life, a labyrinth that, without Him, ultimately leads to death. The realization that God is my friend, coupled with my trust in Him to fill me with His Spirit, initiates a constant state of joy and the other qualities that make up the fruit of the Spirit. That joy doesn't depend on external circumstances, but on my close koinonia with Jesus. Though writing in Greek, the Apostle Paul communicated a distinctly Hebrew idea. In English, we usually translate shalom as peace, but peace is a much smaller word. In Hebrew, shalom is an umbrella term, or a loaded word, with up to 70 different meanings. It's a shorthand that doesn't just mean no war. It covers a whole spectrum of ideas, like physical health, safety, prosperity, and total wholeness. It's like a single word that contains an entire philosophy of well-being, a blissful state that provides us certainty in God, impacts every aspect of life, doesn't leave any room for fear or anxiety, and surpasses all understanding. God has called us to experience and share His perfect peace, or shalom. This podcast is produced with the purpose of providing resources to help you share God's blessings with others, allowing this overflow of peace to reach every person on earth. Some of these resources, like the ones you see here, are part of our effort to ensure God's offer, the gospel, is available continuously, daily, and without interruption to thousands worldwide through outdoor evangelistic media. For more details on how you can be involved, please email us at indestructiblekindness@gmail.com. As citizens of God's kingdom, our lives are to be marked by joy and peace, regardless of the difficulties we face in our service to Christ. To cultivate this inner state, we are instructed to focus our thoughts on what is commendable, things that are true, honest, just, pure, lovely, and of good report. We must emulate good examples and maintain a vibrant, trusting relationship with God, who is the sole source of Shalom. We must reject anything that threatens to divert us from God's supreme calling. For example, dwelling in our own shortcomings and imperfections diminished our capacity to overcome them. When we become fully cognizant of what is being restored by God, our love for Him moves us to thankfully be willing to give up our earthly nationalities for the sake of the heavenly citizenship. After all, any other citizenship undoubtedly leads to death. To be strangers and pilgrims on the earth becomes our joy. We understand the great honor God gives us to be His ambassadors, His agents of blessings, His light bearers. As citizens and ambassadors of God's kingdom, our temporary stay on earth has a profound purpose: to showcase the greatness of the one who called us from darkness into His light. We are here to extend God's offer of restoring the heavenly, eternal citizenship our ancestors, Adam and Eve, forfeited. When the Holy Spirit illuminates our true purpose and destiny, we gain the divine perspective needed to navigate all circumstances, even the extreme ones. Whether we experience abundance or almost nothing, we understand that these conditions are fleeting. Most importantly, we grasp that everything we possess and every action we take must be devoted to the advancement of God's kingdom, our kingdom. It is a great honor to be recognized as God's ambassadors, His agents of blessing, and His light bearers to the world. Daily access to God's grace provides the necessary strength to meet our daily needs and empowers us to use that ability effectively. Instead of waiting for a future miraculous outpouring of spiritual power to equip us for soul winning, we are to commit ourselves to God daily and allow Him to work through us. This involves seizing every opportunity to serve that comes our way and sharing our trust in God wherever we are, every day. To experience God's peace, we must align ourselves with God's will. This means adopting His perspective and committing to His purpose. If we fail to follow God's instructions, we will not have shalom, peace, as we read in Psalm 119:165.
Just as Jesus received His power through serving the Father who sent Him, our strength comes from serving Jesus who sends us. His grace makes us conscious of our fellowship, koinonia, with heaven. It strengthens us, enabling us to go out and strengthen and bless others. By responding to Jesus' invitation to work in His vineyard, we will be prepared to receive and utilize the power God makes available to His church for the final harvest.